we go, and another assignment for computer art. And in this assignment, what we're going to do is create kind of this tiny planet image from a landscape image. So you can see, if you look really closely, these are some trees and a field and a sky with some clouds that has been kind of stretched and turned around on itself. And so we're going to need to start with is actually choosing an image to work from. You can do a quick Google search for an image to manipulate into this tiny planet. I'm going to go ahead and choose the same one. I search for summer landscapes, seeing as it's almost summer vacation time, and so that image is the one I'm going to go with again to show you how to create this similar type of image. So remember, if we copy an image, we go Window N or File New to create a new document, and it should automatically give us the size canvas we need to put this image down. What we're going to do now is crop this image using the crop tools right here below our text tool. I'll select that, and what we can do is enter in an aspect ratio. So what we want this to be is custom. You do have kind of a square ratio here, but we'll go with custom. What I want to do is see where this measurement goes. About 10.5 inches is what the height of this image is. So I want to enter 10.5 in for the width, and then 10.5 in for the height. And then when I go to stretch my cropping, you'll see that no matter what I do, it's going to make a square. Okay, and we're going to need this. Really important that we get this image to be a square. So we can set that crop ratio and then go ahead and crop our image. You saw there was a little watermark tag on there. If you have things like that in your image, make sure that you crop them out for now. Okay, next step, we're going to take this image and flip it. We're going to flip it vertical. So we're going to image, rotate, flip vertical, and flip this image upside down. The next thing we're going to do is apply a filter to it. So we're going to go to our filter menu. We'll go down to distort, and then we'll go to what's called polar coordinates. So click on polar coordinates. It'll bring up this dialog box. It'll show us a preview of what this effect will do. Essentially, it's just taking our image, bending it, and connecting it back to the start. So if we go ahead and say OK to that, you can see we're well on our way to completing this image. Now we're just going to do a little healing to this area of the image so that we kind of blend that together, make it not as noticeable of a line. We're going to use a tool very similar to one we've used before, which is the clone stamp tool. It's the healing brush tool with the band-aid icon right above it. What this tool will do is affect very similar to the clone stamp, and it'll be used a very similar way. And so what I want to do is take a brush here, I believe that, okay, so I thought this was going to bring up a different kind of menu, but I can use this as well. I'm going to take kind of a brush that's maybe about 40 or so in size. We'll turn that down a little bit. That looks pretty good to get in some of those spaces. I'm going to turn the hardness down to maybe 50% or so, because I want this to be kind of a fuzzy, blurred edge here. Pen pressure I can keep on. I think that's okay. That's just going to make the weight of the marks different as opposed to when I kind of click. Okay, it's just selling that message because I clicked out of that menu over to the side. So what we need to do is actually sample part of the image. So that's what it was that error message was telling me right there. If I hold down my Alt key and then click once, it will sample from that particular space of the image. So you can see with just one click, it blends together that line much better. What I'm going to want to do is just click in one spot, holding Alt, and then click. And I'm just going to go right up this line, holding Alt, clicking, and then going over here, and really just try and basically blur this line very simply. I'm not going to really try and do a lot of kind of brush connecting so much. You can do some if you'd like. You can start on the right hand side and try to push some of that color over to the left too, if you'd like, to kind of find a good spot in between there to kind of blend your colors together. I kind of want to take this cloud down a bit. What I'm going to do here is kind of continue to bring this part over and really really back and forth with this image a little bit until I feel like I've done a pretty good job blending it together and disguising that line. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more, go back to my healing brush tool, make a sample here, and this works really easily in an area like this, kind of the grassy type side of things. That came a little strong. I'm thinking I might be able to turn down my brush hardness a little bit, maybe go down to 40% or so. That way I think I get a little bit lighter of an image there. And now when we back up and look at this, you can see it's pretty difficult to really see that there was a straight line there. I could spend a little bit longer trying to really blend this in, zooming in a little bit further, but I think that you get the general gist. And so go ahead and pursue making your own little tiny world here. Choosing a landscape. I think I failed to maybe mention just that at the beginning that it's really important that your landscape image goes pretty level across. And if it doesn't, at least the points here and either side want to line up pretty well. So an image with a steep hill where it does not really start, if you're looking at this image here, this hill's a little bit lower, there's also a tree going off the side that gets cut off. You want these two sides to be able to match well. This image right here would work really well because it's got these 2 points here that will match up really well when we bend this image into a circle, if you can imagine that. So when you choose that image, make sure you keep that in mind. And as always, I hope you have some fun and a lot of luck.